Start.
My name is Hove. I'm a Great Zimbabwe Law student. 3-2. I'm going to make a presentation on postmodernism in jurisprudence, which is tutored by Mr. Nkosana Maposa. The essence of my presentation is to make a critical analysis of postmodernism philosophy of law and discuss the different views of postmodernism and modern philosophy. The research shall probe the history of postmodernism, explore the different views of philosophers subscribing to it, together with unpacking the nexus between postmodernism and Zimbabwean laws, with the foreign laws included. The history of postmodernism. Postmodernism and postmodernism law and postmodernism jurisprudence relates to the interpretation of legal system using postmodern philosophy and the theories of postmodernism. Postmodern interpretation of law can involve critically considering legal inequalities connected to gender, class, race, ethnicity, and ethnicity by acknowledging diversity and multiplicity. Henceforth, critical practices connected to postmodern philosophy such as critical literacy and deconstruction can be used as an interpretive tool to ensure that a range of different and diverse values and norms are acknowledged. According to Lloyd, Introduction to Law, postmodernism is a famously hazy notion with no precise definition. Thus, one may deem it appropriate to affirm that there is a contention on defining postmodernism. However, safe to submit is that several philosophers have attempted to provide a concise definition of postmodernism. To begin with, Stephen Best and Douglas Naylor postmodernism was defined by the two as the variety of aesthetic forms and practices that follow and depart from modernism. Thus, it can be arguably be aware that the Dark Ages, Middle Ages, and Modern Ages, Arnold, Tony, and Somerville proposed that the concept of postmodernism age began to emerge in 1875. Later deposited that, mentioning from the beginning that the term postmodernity is sometimes considered synonymous to postmodernism, or sometimes with post-industrial society. It can be said that the term refers to the most advanced stage of development of modernity, characterized by asserting the lack of certainty of knowledge, discrediting evolutionary principles applied to interpretation of history, and replacing it with the idea that history is non-teleological in such a way that no type of progress can be sustained in the sense of making change permanent, of the end of history, etc., through the establishment of a new social political order in which the old doctrines and or ideologies have become obsolete and the new ones, such as environmentalism, are coupled with suitable social political movements, possible generators of new alternatives of organization, such as the multiplication of authorities, the erosion of power, overextended mobility in time and space. Therefore, postmodernity is presented as the wake of social transition dominated by the globalization process and by searching, sometimes categorically asserting new forms of organization and leadership of a new institution and way of life. Postmodernism under judicial construction and reconstruction. Postmodernity represents a condition that refers to all the phenomena that follows modernity and includes a focus on sociological, technological, and other conditions that distinguish the modern era from everything that followed it. Postmodernism, on the other hand, represents a set of responses to the condition of postmodernity of an intellectual, cultural, artistic, academic, or philosophical nature. The ascent of postmodernism to the forefront of legal thought occurred in the latter half of the 20th century. Critical legal scholars and postmodern theorists, commonly known as anti-fundamentalists, contend that there can be no foundation for the law, since they reject the existence of any foundation for objective knowledge of any type. Such a stance demonstrates advocacy aimed at liberating popular opinion and conceptualization of the law and its function in society from the constraints of conventional jurisprudence. The postmodernist effect on law poses fundamental issues with the legal system. One may therefore be prompted to ask a question as to why should citizens be bound by the law if it is not objective and does not uphold ideals that we should all uphold. If the rule of law is the rule of law just an overt display of one group's control over another, it can be submitted that despite the difficulty in quantifying such influence, most observers agree that post-modern ideas of law are currently having a sufficient impact on both the legislative and the judicial branches of government. Leading postmodernist theories like Hegel and Derrida actually critique conventional politics and society. However, some would view this as a fleeting trend. They contend that conventional culture, theory, and politics are fictitious creations made by intellectuals seeking a fresh discourse and a new source of cultural capital. However, the problematic and emergent postmodern discourses present difficulties that are difficult to reject or quickly incorporate into pre-existing paradigms. Though postmodernism philosophy opposes the traditional culture, contemporary theory, and politics, it hasn't completely disregarded them. For instance, in Section 6 of the Constitution guarantees the right to culture and other related rights. It stipulates that every person has the right to participate in, enjoy, practice, and promote any cultural institution, language, tradition, or religion in the company of others. Additionally, Section 58 of the Constitution guarantees the freedom of association for political and other civil organizations. And Section 67 states that a Zimbabwean citizen who is at least 18 years old is qualified to stand for election, public office if elected to hold such office. So in terms of culture, politics, and society, postmodernism has to some extent embraced modern ideals. Postmodernism is a reaction to the legitimization crisis as defined by Habermas. It said that the modern bureaucratic state has degenerated into a dysfunctional entity as a result of its interference with other subsystem operations and colonization of other life forms. Thus, it can be submitted that state is not the only source of rules of law. It can also come from families, offices, religious affiliation, among other things. In Zimbabwe, we have a law on families, customary law, common law, among other laws. The postmodern theory transforms the state into an absolute structure and enables the autonomy of law as a system of social regulations. Santos contends that attention should be given to the way in which local, traditional social relations as well as state and non-state social relations interact, converge, and clash in volatile. Dynamic combination reclaiming places where they were once absent. Therefore, self-to-aware is that postmodernism, for instance, has prompted community policing and alternative dispute resolutions. Thus, this has demonstrated both the conventional contemporary methods of resolving conflicts peacefully among communities. Alternative dispute resolution has been made available as a substitute for disputes through the Arbitration and Reconciliation Act and civil procedure laws. In essence, this suggests that postmodernism has integrated traditional and contemporary ages inside itself. It is pertinent to aware that though one may not argue with the decision of C.J. Hamilton, before modernism and postmodernism, some cultural practices in Africa were inhuman, degrading, and substandard. For example, women were not allowed to inherit their properties. Mothers could not make wills, but with modernity and postmodernism, it is in the case of Best Kamigisha versus Nabo Komtali, court held that women can inherit their husband's property, can bequeath property in a will, among others. Since Section 6 is read with Section 58 of the Constitution guarantees the right to belong, to profess and practice any culture, legislation may be formed from social cultures long as they do not violate the principles of equality and natural justice. Finally, it should be noted that postmodernism and modernism are somewhat related, making it difficult to make a clear distinction between the two philosophies, other than the fact that the latter developed from the former.